as well. I spent 10 years in South Africa.
And do you have kids in South Africa?
Yes, I do.
10 years.
In your heart,
Right.
are your kids a South African or Nigerian?
It's called dual citizen. They are both.
You're saying this from your gated community with your high walls and your unlimited Wi-Fi.
Yeah, these are Bontiki, very out of touch with reality. Isn't Abontiki, the ugly ones, they're always crying about being oppressed and being victims and hey, Africa unite, hey, we are one. Get out of here. Look at this, bro. Paintings. Telling you, man. Ladies and gents, you know, the only time I ever come on here is when I realize that South Africa has really gone crazy. You get what I'm saying? We have went crazy, we have went too woke for our liking, and it hurts our communities, it hurts everybody around us. But I'm here to correct all of it. One man. No, I'm kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, but we have to comment on these issues. There's been a breaking story trending on Twitter for about 2 weeks now, if my time is not off, for 2 weeks, of this lady right here. She's entered the competition of becoming Miss South Africa, and there's some South Africans within their own right who say this person is not going to represent us, because mostly when you look at her social media before her entry into Miss South Africa, you'll realize that this woman right here is very proud of her Nigerian heritage. She's clearly a Nigerian, and I want you to listen to this interview, right, of her father. Her father says that he came to South Africa in 2010. Ladies and gentlemen, this lady is 23. Now, if her father came in 2010 and had her in 2010, this would make her 14 years old. But she's not 14. She is 23. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest scam is happening right in front of our eyes, and the South African Human Rights Commission is threatening South Africans and saying that if you are denying this lady her South African citizenship, you are going to be in trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, South Africa has went too woke. I feel that organizations like the SAHRC need to be disbanded. They are not serving South Africans. I mean, they are threatening us. They are threatening us with jail and prosecutions just because we have opinions about our country. Ladies and gentlemen, we live during crazy times. But let's hear the father in the interview. I want you to make it make sense in your own head and make up your mind. Let's go.
Origin?
I'm a Nigerian and my wife is a South African.
Oh, all right.
And I've lived in South Africa as well. I spent 10 years in South Africa.
And do you have kids in South Africa?
Yes, I do.
10 years.
And I suppose they are South African citizens.
Exactly.
All right. And what surname are they using?
My surname.
Your surname.
Because I'm married to their mom, yes.
All right. Okay. And on what visa were you here?
Actually, as I said, I got married. I met my wife in the UK. She's a South African, by the way. So we met in the UK. So in 2010, during World Cup, we decided we're gonna visit. And that time we don't have children.
So it's a visitor's visa.
South Africa to watch the World Cup. So that was my first year. That's my first time entering South Africa. So I came with a visitor visa, because there's no other visa suitable for watching a World Cup other than visiting visa. So we came there, the World Cup ended, we returned back. I think it was a few weeks. We returned back to the UK. Then I have to return back again in 2013, and then with a visitor's visa, then got married to my wife. So I am.
Okay, wait a minute. I like it. With a visitor's visa, you got married to your South African woman.
Yes.
All right.
That's correct.
In 2010, bro.
Okay.
So this makes this lady 14 years old, right? Ladies and gentlemen, we are being scammed in our own country.
So I am going to ask you the same question I asked you, Kamba. In your heart,
Right.
are your kids a South African or Nigerian?
It's called dual citizen. They are both.
Okay, but then when you look at them, do you see them as
Home Affairs, please do your job. Please give us the answers. What's going on? Give us the answers. Right now, we need answers. Confirm citizenship of Vanessa. Then case closed, man. We don't need none of this. Just confirm.
Nigerian kids or otherwise?
That's what I've just said. They are
Okay,
Nigerian. They are Nigerian kids that have every single right that you have as a South African. They also have. So they are the Nigerian kids. It's called dual.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are being scammed in our own country. And I need you to listen what Gayton said about all of this. I mean, he's just as surprised as I am. He needs answers too. He needs answers.
Go and investigate. I can't just talk because I'm a minister. And if she's South African, we will wish her well. But if she's not South African, we can't have her represent us on the world stage. Where I am sitting now, I don't know. I am waiting for answers. But they say it's xenophobic when you ask the question. How can it be xenophobic? We must ask
Please deal with the South African Human Rights Commission, Mr. Gayton.
questions.
Please.
My surname is Mackenzie. There's some people that ask me, you South African? Because my surname doesn't sound too South African. I don't get offended like, no. Why are you asking me that? We must start to listen to each other. We are being overrun here by illegal foreigners. Not, the emphasis on illegal. People on the ground are feeling the pain. I can't now because I'm a minister now. I must now stop talking about the problems. Illegal foreigners got all the jobs here. They're taking over everything. And it's a problem that we need to speak about in the restaurants. They're the only ones working.
Facts, man. Facts. They're all over. They're all over. But this conversation is not about illegal immigrants. Ladies and gentlemen, our Miss South Africa competition is being scammed right in front of our eyes. Some illegality is happening. And so if Vanessa's father came here on visitor's visa, I wonder how long he stayed. Home Affairs, we need some answers, man. We can't have people in South Africa just breaking the law, doing fraud and doing as they please. Now, I'm not alleging anything. I'm not saying anything about Vanessa's citizenship. I don't know. We need the answers. But this is crazy that this illegality is allowed to happen in our country. And there's a video of a pretty young lady who explains exactly the problems we are dealing with as far as illegality and immigration are concerned in South Africa.
Our South Africans are called xenophobic or Afrophobic for choosing to be patriotic to their own country. But if somebody from Congo, Nigeria, or Ethiopia were to do the same thing, they would be called patriotic and not xenophobic. And I feel like this whole chat is one-sided because there's so many things that illegal immigrants do in this country that they do to our children, to our mothers, to our sisters. But you guys don't ever call them xenophobic. You don't look at them and say that you guys actually hate South Africans when they actually do. These people wouldn't be using South African girls as drug mules if they actually cared about us. So what is it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I like me some patriotic women. This lady is clearly smart. She has a head on her shoulders. She's pretty. South Africans, we are blessed. You know what I'm saying, man? Isn't the ugly ones, they're always crying about being oppressed and being victims and hey, Africa unite, hey, we are one. Get out of here. Look at this, bro. Paintings. Telling you, man.
That we are expected to love them. Why is it that we're supposed to look at them and say that these are sisters, these are brothers, when they don't care about us? And every time a South African would say something like this, you guys would be so quick to call us xenophobic for retaliating to the xenophobia that we're experiencing in our own country. And the minute I say I do not recognize you as my brother or my sister because your people are doing this and that to my people, I'm viewed as a xenophobe. I'm viewed as an Afrophobe.
Which is
and
crazy.
One thing that you guys fail to remember is that South Africa is in Africa, and if South Africans were really Afrophobic, they would actually hate all Africans. But the fact that we love ourselves so much as South Africans and we're so proud of our heritage and we are patriotic to our country means that we love being South African. So we're not Afrophobic.
We just love our country. Ladies and gentlemen, there's another lady. This lady, ladies and gentlemen, somebody must give her a podcast right now. Oof. She goes into this issue.
Africans, because they will always come from a privileged perspective. When it comes to the xenophobia conversation, this conversation lacks a lot of nuance. It also seeks to paint all Black South Africans as irrational and violent people.
Man, I like me some well-educated Black women, bro. I'm telling you, man. Hey, ladies and gents, don't play with your boy, man.
That's why a lot of the time when people come and visit South Africa, they're like, oh, I thought they were gonna attack me because I'm not from here. And the question still remains, if South Africa was as hostile as a country as the media and other people are saying it is, mind you, people that don't even live here or have never stepped foot here, why is it that we have the highest population of immigrants in Africa?
Why?
Secondly, the idea that poor Black South Africans should stop complaining about issues that plague them on a daily basis and rather focus on securing the land or some grand ideology that may or may not come true within their lifetime is also ridiculous.
Facts.
Because if Mina, I live in Katlehong, or I live in Kwatema, or I live in Soweto, and I'm trying to make a living for myself by running a spaza shop, and the people that you call my brothers and sisters are harming me and threatening to take my life because I'm running a business within my township, which is my right, are you telling me that it's so absurd that I would develop animosity towards these people that have come from a different country into mine to make my life harder? Don't get me
Facts.
started on the fact that these paza shops are said to be raising funds for certain dangerous groups. They are also selling poisonous food to the Black population in South African townships.
By those groups, she means terrorists. Ladies and gentlemen, it's crazy. It's crazy in South Africa, really. It's crazy.
It's easy for you who grew up in a gated community or in a nice complex in the suburbs, who went to a nice school, who doesn't have to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and walk in the dark. It's easy for you to say, stop being hateful. But do you live in a mining town where there are zamazamas? Do you live in a mining town where you are being terrorized on a daily basis?
Great questions.
Is your home being hijacked? And sure, you might say, why don't they hold the government accountable? And I'll say, have you been living in South Africa for the past 30 years? If you as a middle-class Black person can't even get your grievances through to the government, what more a poor Black South African who has nothing? If I feel like outsiders are making my home a hostile environment to live in, the natural reaction is to retaliate. That's why these takes of, oh, Black South Africans need to focus on Abelungu instead. The average Black South African doesn't live around Abelungu.
Bro, she's coming for everybody.
You're saying this from your gated community with your high walls and your unlimited Wi-Fi.
Yeah, these are Bontigi, very out of touch with reality. They are very out of touch with the reality of what's happening in the real South Africa. They know how to tweet. They know how to tweet that we hate people. No, we don't hate people. We welcome people. I have so many wonderful international friends. But they understand that my love for my country is not a hate for them. It's just purely that, my love for my country. And if people come here illegally, and those who do come legally, when they come here and they commit criminality in the country, you want us to keep quiet? This is our country. We love our country. We're not going to keep quiet. If you want Africa unite, Africa must go unite there in Nigeria, there. Go unite in Nigeria, go unite in Zimbabwe, go unite in those countries. As we want close borders here. People who come here must respect our laws, and they must abide by our laws, and they must not terrorize the people in South Africa. Is that too much to ask? Is saying that xenophobic, defending a country? Ain't that something?
If anyone should be fighting supremacy the most, it should be you. You who is privileged. You who has the...
Facts. I want you to listen to this guy who clearly defends South Africa from all of this nonsense that South Africans are xenophobic. Are we not allowed to love our country?
And so definitely the citizens will react to such behaviors and characters. Sometimes, just sometimes, we see these angry reactions by the citizens and we blindly conclude that they are racism, xenophobia, and etc, etc. But deep inside, would you like your own country to be abused by foreigners like this? Let me make this example. You came to my house hungry and homeless, and I had food for two, and so I offered you food and gave you a place to lay your head. And now you gain a little ground and you start selling cocaine and drugs to my children. What do you expect from me? A smile?
Definitely not a smile. You are getting a hard slap under the jail.
No, how do you want me to react in this matter? To smile at you? Definitely no. And now when the citizens begins to react against this lawlessness by foreigners, They don't tend to tell the truth, the actual truth to people back home. All that they say is, oh, they hate foreigners. They don't want us in their country. They are jealous of us living in their country and then prospering. Really?
This guy is very smart.
Talking
I like
about
this guy.
prosperity? Look at this. You call selling illegal drugs to youth to make money as prosperity? You call trafficking children as means of making money as prosperity?
Bro, and when it comes to selling drugs and whatever, I just want you to watch Sizokuthola. Just watch Sizokuthola and you'll see what bro is talking about. Majority of the people who are caught selling drugs there are the people of the other country. We are not allowed to call them by their country. So it's the people of the other country there. Most people who are caught in South Africa selling drugs. And majority of them are not documented. And we are supposed to keep quiet and say, oh, diversity, oh, Africa unite, oh, Pan-African. My food.
You rob and steal people's properties as means of making money in another person's country, and you call it prosperity? For Christ's sake, these behaviors causes pain to humanity. This act causes harm to others. Stealing and robbing causes setback to people after laboring blood and sweat in accumulating their properties, and you think they should allow you to continue living in their country. For what reason? Because of Pan-Africanism? Or what? If our concept of Pan-Africanism or one world, one love as African citizens is to be allowed to migrate wherever that we want and then go about whatever business that we want, regardless, even if the innocent will suffer for it, then I'm sorry.
That guy is very smart. I like that guy. Ladies and gentlemen, as far as Vanessa is concerned, we need the answers. And we are not going to be bullied into keeping quiet about the situation. We can't keep quiet when our country is clearly being taken for play. We can't really. And as far as illegal immigrants that do come into this country, we can't keep quiet. Unfortunately, we love our country enough not to keep quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, be patriotic to your countries. Be patriotic to South Africa if you are a South African. Then we won't have no problem. Just don't disrespect us because we are welcoming and we are loving. We are here.